the first thing that the NRM leaders focused on was building an army from the grassroots, right? And removing the cleavages, the differences of Gurkhas and martial tribes. In 1979, because Malung, which came with who? With Fronasa, they would come with a tape measure in Masaka, and they are measuring people at recruitment. Because Malung only recruited 2,000 people. Fronasa recruited 9,000. Why? Because they didn't carry all these useless baggage. You build a national army from the grassroots. By 1981, there was a genuine alliance of intellectuals, a few educated people, peasants, religions. Many of you maybe were not yet born. Cardinal Suga supported NRA. Its NRA was led by Anglicans. Why? Something is emerging that says there's a centrality of something good here that should stop tribes and religions. Many of you might not know this, but the late Kakungu, the father of, he was very close to the resistance. Kakungu was a Muslim. Why would he support Anglicans? Because 1961, 71, you are either Anglican and you are Catholic, you are DP. Okay? Now, so the first genuine alliance after 1981, we begin to see business people either fighting or supporting the people's protracted war in Luero, and later that whole area. They would support the leader of that resistance, who also had read from Chairman Mao Zedong. I want you to look for a book called Mao by John Halliday. You'll be shocked to see that everything the young Museveni was saying and doing. John Halliday is the author. I think the book is Mao.
And there's in PhD,
Yes. Read the bookstore of the Testament. So, but when you read the words in that book, you see the practice of this young man in the 80s. He had read the theory, and he had seen the practice in North Mozambique with Frelimo, in a province called Cabo Delgado, which now has extremists. Strange how history turns so slowly. What do I mean? Just let me give you an example. The peasants in Wachato, I just want to bring this to granular. This alliance is exemplified by the peasants in Wachato and Ngoma sub-counties. In September 1983, they gave 21,000 heads of cattle for this cause. They gave shirts, they gave everything they had. So people say, but that was a war. What did you expect them to do? No. They must, Chris Walker says, they could have carried those cows into government and say, we are not part of that rebellion. But they saw an alliance that is above tribe, above religion. And that for me, when people play with this, I just die inside. When people think this is about me, myself, you look at them. So this is why I'm upset. I wrote it. When people trivialize the basis on which we have had a stable country today, and they make this stability just a job hunt until for my next day. It was sacrifice of a few for the many. And it was a singular, unique example in the history of our country and in Africa that this alliance has been able to give our country the longest period of stability, now almost 40 years. Okay? People can disagree with this, but we can't take that away. Number two. That was the first, I said there are four, the NRM people, the NRM mind, thinking focused on. Number two, they focused on building a central uniting ideology against tribes and religions. And they focused on improving the means of production and giving access to all. So when I hear comedians say, they ask you, Mudo Kwaji, how's the new number is making? I don't know if you've heard these ideas. You see, comedians are a reflection of what people think. Yes. If people think now that Nyambere guarantees you a job, they are destroying them. Yes. You should hate them as much as you hate Idi Amin, who chased Asians, because they don't know what they are doing.
You said it.
He said I speak openly, so I apologize if I offend you. So the uniting ideology was not on my religion, my tribe. It was, let's come together and see one dashboard about where the country should go, and we can't keep this way. Number 3, they focused on education for all. Remember 1969? 4% only? The idea that if you would go to school to govern the many, NRM rejected it. I was a young boy after university, I remember the fight to do UPE. People said, impossible. Well, the leader of the movement said, it is possible, we will do it. We were young at that time, but when you look back, he was coming from a background he knew. You can't govern an illiterate country. An illiterate country can never be democratic, however way you want it. No, never. It can never do industry. Okay, a very educated country will criticize you, will do everything, but would you have it different? Would rather have a very educated population. So your UPE graduates are now members of parliament. They are leaders in the country. Makerere, which had 3,000 students in 1969, now has more than 40,000. It has 100 different courses, and it is competing in more than 50 universities and more than 200,000 classrooms across the country. It is still small for 44 million people, but it's a good start to not destroy, okay? We still have the elite in civil service, and this has expanded. I want you, I don't have time to take you through this. Please read Ali Mazrui's book. It's called Soldiers and Kingsmen. Soldiers and Kingsmen. And that's what they focus on. Building an economy that raises the productivity of our people. Building an economy that raises the... You know there's a difference between production and productivity. Okay? So I focus on productivity. So, to speak one example to demonstrate this, in 1998, many of you are not yet born, when I was here. In 1988, we were producing 57,000 metric tons of iron and steel, but largely coming from removing, malati from places, radio lines, okay? We still do that, but we were doing about 57,000 metric tons. Today, we have an installed capacity of about 1 million tons from 19 factories. One of these factories, I think it's called Temple Steel alone, in 2017, they were using 25 megawatts of electricity. They were asking for more. They were employing 2,000 people with a turnover of 250 billion Uganda shillings, 15 billion of this being exported. Why am I focusing on iron and steel? You can never grow a country, whether it is military or business, without that industry. The net consumption of steel and iron tells you how the country is growing. Okay? Okay, so I'm in food sector, but I understand that Korea only broke through when they had POSCO. POSCO is Pohang steel plant. That steel plant was producing 600 million metric tons and competed with Japan and China. That's when they started building Kia, which we drive as a car today. Hyundai, I know the founder of Hyundai. I'm getting that. Do you like biographies? Yes. Go check the founder of Hyundai. It's called Chu Jung-gi. His book, I forget his book. He wrote his biography. He talks about his first car. The man never went to school. His mother would wait for people going to toilets in the night to put manure to put in the garden so that they could grow food. But by the time this man died, he had a $16 billion worth for the company. There's something about being resilient and doing the right things in the right environment. So I use steel here because the consumption of steel tells you how a country is growing. Okay? This consumption is because many more people are doing Mabati houses today than before, using steel windows. Doors, they use cemented floors. There are factories. I'm a shareholder in a factory which is in the middle of nowhere. Where I grew up, if you said bacteria, you would have nowhere, maybe go to hospital to see how the effect of bacteria. But our day plant now is in the heart of the community, so primary school children can pass there and see how bacteria makes yogurt. It's not a lot, but it changes the understanding of the child. Okay? My first factory was a business hospital called Itoju. They took us in senior 3 to see a factory, took us in a hospital. It's not the factories. So, toisama maso na karika factory akatono akakora juice. If you have 10,000 pounds to invest, go to Wigo and put it there, because that will change someone's view of the world. Okay?
Would like to hear from you. Please email us at info@tapmedia.com and visit our website at www.tapmedia.com. You can also visit our offices located at Tomosi Business Park, Luzira, Port Bell Road, or call 0414 220 702. Thank you.